So this is my 3-month update since my second transplant, and I'm finally, look at my dry skin there, that's just probably because I've been in the shower too long. I'm finally starting to see a bit of progress. So the difference between month 2 and month 3, I am now starting to see some proper growth, because that shedding stage definitely lasted a lot longer this time than my first transplant, in Turkey in 2020. So I was a little bit worried about that, but actually from doing some research, actually a lot of people do see the new hair sprouting through at 3 months. So up until 3 months, if you are kind of completely bald and still a bit red, that is normal, so don't worry. Look, you can see more dry skin there. Still getting a few little spots, but yeah, you can start to now see hairs coming through. And I've just had my hair cut today, so I've got the taper fade here. I'll try and show the back as well, but the donor actually looks very good. Like, the barber's very skilled at what he does in terms of blending it all in, and obviously keeping it a bit longer now at the back, so not really showing many scars at all. But yeah, in terms of the difference between the second transplant and the first transplant, it doesn't look worse. If anything, it looks better, the donor area, which kind of was what I was hoping for. But yeah, it actually has come true. So I've got a freckle here, which I can kind of compare to before even my first surgery, So obviously where now the hairline's drawn at, obviously this is all going to thicken up and look like a proper hairline, because I guess it kind of still looks like, the shape of my hair still looks like the M until you go close and you can see where the new grafts are. Obviously, until they properly thicken up, it still kind of looks the same. So I'm kind of still styling it in the same way. I would say the barber today has kind of taken more off, where now the new hair is a bit more on show, which is fine with me completely. This side is the side that always bothered me the most, and I'm really excited to see the improvement on that. As you can see, so what happens with a transplant is, and I guess this was the case with my first one as well, they have to put more grafts than what you look like you need, okay? And the reason for this is those thin, wispy hairs, they're essentially dying away. So they're called miniaturized hairs, and if you have those in certain areas, part of the shedding, they could just fall out through shock loss. But again, from what I've read, they will kind of grow back. So I mean, I'm at 3 months now. It's going to take, the first transplant, it was between months 4 and 5 where I saw kind of the biggest improvements. So at least 2 more months before I'm going to kind of really start to think this is what it's going to look like. But even really for a second transplant, I think you're looking at a full 12 months. So this is what it looked like before I've just had a shower. Obviously there is pink, the colouring of it is still visible. That's going to take the full 12 months to die down. I actually went on holiday last week to Lanzarote, which was nice this time of year, surprisingly. And obviously I wore a cap whenever I was sunbathing. So only when I went in the pool for short periods of time, like half an hour max each time, did I not have that on. But I was also putting sun cream on right up to the new hairs. But already I can kind of see the outline of particularly the temples, and I'm really pleased with it. So yeah, much happier today than I was, say, at month 2. Obviously the hairline design, which I've talked about a little bit, only time will tell once it's kind of fully grown in, and the new hairline is what actually is the front. Because if you look at it now, like I just said, it kind of still looks like the original hairline. It's a bit of an M, whereas actually it's a lot straighter now, which was Dr. Mwamba's kind of design, which I went with and I'm happy with. So we'll see. Hopefully it will look really good. It's still realistically a high hairline. Like, people talk about being conservative with grafts and things like that. In no way has it come down too low. Obviously the kind of the straightness of it is what might give away that it's a transplant, if that makes sense. But from my point of view, the whole point of getting a transplant is to actually improve your appearance. So that's what I wanted. I was happy with my first surgery. I rated that 8 out of 10, but I have got that hair greed. I'm trying to get as close to the 10 out of 10 as possible. I know I've probably contradicted myself and said perfection doesn't exist, which I stand by that. It doesn't exist, but if I can get a bit more improvement, then it's money well spent from my point of view. So I'll give you another update next month. Any questions, let me know.